Title of this video is going to be Airline Professionalism in America, specifically the USA. Which ones get it right? So here's the thing. I fly a lot, and something I've noticed is that airline professionalism in the US is inconsistent, very inconsistent. Not just staff, but the whole travel experience. Recently, on a Delta flight, I asked a simple question, super simple. Do you have the window seats available? Do you have any window seats available? That's it. Normal question. The response was way more aggressive than the situation called for, so I disengaged and walked away. This isn't and wasn't about Delta specifically. Delta is actually one of the better US airlines overall. This was about how stressful flying has become and how professionalism sometimes breaks down in public spaces. From experience and customer satisfaction data, here's how US airlines generally stack up when it comes to professionalism. Airlines that tend to do better. Delta, as previously mentioned, that's #1 in the USA on average. JetBlue comes in at a close second. Alaska, which I actually thought was #1, but is #3 overall. Southwest, #4. Airlines that are more inconsistent. American Airlines, which I can attest to for sure. They have a lot of history with racial aggression, which obviously the U.S. has a huge issue with the whole race thing. Currently going right now, they're starting to fight with the Latinos. Let's see, United, and then ultra low cost carriers. So presumably like Spirit, Frontier, airlines like that. Even the best airlines can't control stressed passengers. Airports are pressure cookers. That's why professionalism, calm, clear, respectful interaction matters so much. At the end of the day, flying shouldn't feel like a social experiment. I don't think this is like a competition. You go in modern day, you go online to a modern internet search engine or travel URL such as Expedia or Travelodge. You book your flight, and you should just be able to come on and just get on the plane, right? And if you have simple questions, that's what customer service training is about. The people should be able to answer that without losing their shit. But I think, in my opinion, my observation traveling the world, especially when I've been to Asia, like if you go on ANA or Japan Airlines, the people are way more professional. They'll accommodate you, and they have the resources. One thing I do want to throw out is that some of the American staff on the airlines, they may be overworked. So whereas in a lot of countries, like a lot of Western European countries, there's more credence given to siestas or breaks in Western Europe, and then also the quality of life standard tends to be a lot better. So I think that it's it's a really good thing, and I think that Americans really should adopt that kind of mindset because quality of life is important. I think that when you treat your employees best and better, and good, and give them a good quality of life, I think they tend to be less stressed. People don't normally react out of nowhere. It's normally a combination of multiple factors, multifaceted. And like I said earlier, it shouldn't be a social experiment. Professional standards matter. And I think, I was in the military. That was kind of one of the things. It was like, it's all about being professional. And I think if you don't maintain your professional manner when you are in a public space, it really looks bad on the organization as a whole. So I think that that's really, really important. And professionalism, again, it really, really matters from staff, from passengers, and from everyone. Choosing airlines wisely protects your energy and disengage from unnecessary conflict, as I did with the story that I told regarding Delta Airlines. Do I think USA or China will return? I don't know, brother. That's off topic on this video. But let's even get the moderators up in here. Got some random questions. But that pretty much concludes the video. I wanted to make this video because I know that's an important part of the travel experience, is which airline you go on. And I think that when you pick a good airline and you get good professional service from the beginning to the end, it makes the whole travel experience important. I think following that list, while I do have my personal opinion regarding American Airlines flying in general, I think it can really be beneficial to pick to determine which airline is best, and then also to have a good overall travel experience in the air when you are in the USA. And then also to point out another caveat, it depends on which hub you're on. As we know, if America is not monolithic, right? Culturally speaking, America is different depending on where you're at. So in the Northeast, people tend to be more frigid. And then when you go down south, people tend to be more relaxed. Because like Bible Belt states, so culturally speaking, people are a little bit more religious, or they have more of a moral compass based off of their Christian religious background that they're actually following, at least to a certain extent. And that's due to the breeding of the culture there, how the people are cultivated, hence culture. Then you West Coast, you have more of a little bit of a laid back culture. But anyway, be that as it may, depending on the hub you fly out of, that can determine the overall travel experience as well, from not just the airline, but the TSA agents to the overall administrative staff in the airport in general. And then also the population in the airport as well. So, all right, that concludes the video for today. Till next time.